I'm Phil Bridges, owner of Straight Arrow Repair. Ever want to know how a repairman fixes things? Well, come with me and I'll show you how I solve problems. Let's make things better together. Guess what? We got to change an axle and bearings. The first one we had going down the road, it cut a groove in the tire because the axle let the rim straddled up and hit on the metal and cut a groove into the rim and made it go flat. We had to fix it on the side of the road. The axle had a worn area in it and the bearings already wore out again. So we're going to change the axle, change the bearing and all that. So hopefully you guys can see how to do that. So the first thing we're going to do, jack this thing up, put scotches on the front tires because we're going to jack the back tires up. We're going to knock this tire off, take the differential cover off, pull the pin out of that. We'll show you doing that. It's a lot better when you're at home, you can sit on a chair. So we're going to take the lug nuts loose. Believe me, I know how to do it by hand. I just happen to have the tool.
Maybe make it go up more? Maybe go up more?
Nope.
You want to show them inside the tire? Or how you know when you have a seal going bad, or?
Yeah, show it to them. There's a sign that the seal.
What's this?
That is the groove that was caused by the flashing over here that's on the back of the. That's what actually cut through the other rim. So we know that we got problems because if you notice right here, it's already bad. So next thing we're going to do is take a 10mm wrench and pull these two bolts right here on the back side of the caliper. Pull that off. One here and one down here. And that's what we're going to do next. So this is still warm, which we just got in. But this is a 10mm that goes on here. And there's two bolts. Just take one here. Set that right there. And then one right here. Turn the wrong way. Trying to beat the weather, we may not make it. It may get dark on us too. But we will get it eventually, and we'll show you what we do. So you will know how to do this yourself. Okay? Okay, I'm going to set that up here. Then, this is coming off easy because we've got the emergency brake that sits inside here. There's little shoes. There's an adjustment on the back. You can use a screwdriver, but they make a brake spoon tool to adjust that up and back. So I think it was up. Push your spoon or your screwdriver down and lift up, loosens it, and that lets it do this. And guess what? Now we gotta take.
And how hard was it to get that off when?
We had to hammer and hammer and hammer. These things were very tight into it. In this case, we got to get a pair of pliers, and we're gonna take the spring loose here and another spring down here. So again, we're gonna get a pair of pliers, probably a pair of needle nose. And we'll take these springs loose on top and bottom. Then we'll take these clips right here. One here and one over here. And that will take this off. Okay, well, I grabbed it like so and pulled over and up. And we didn't catch you with it, but we're going to do the same thing with a smaller spring on the bottom. It's not as difficult. Let's see. Oh. Oh. Okay. Now we got to get this clip on both sides. Push this down and slide that.
I know, a little obstructing your view, huh?
It's better than being on the side of the road. Still. Okay, I pushed it. So what you're doing, it'll be sitting right there, but you're sliding it back to that larger area and it pulls right off. Push it down. You got to push it down a little bit to get it to move. Okay, now we'll take one and we'll just lay it like so. Put that adjuster right there is the teeth I was talking about. You spin. It spins like so, in and out. Okay, so now we just put everything there where you can find it. And in order to get this out, there's a clip in there. We may have to drop the tire to get to that clip, or can you get to it?
Drop the tire?
Spare tire.
Oh, no, I can get to it.
Okay. And it is...
But you're gonna need a catch pan. Or less.
Yeah, we'll get a catch pan. It is a 1/2 inch, and we're gonna use a ratchet. We're gonna pull it loose. And then we'll have a catch pan to drop all the oil into. And then we'll show you how we get to that pin that lets us pull this out.
Alright. You have to bear with me here. And shaky hands. But I've already cracked most of these. You're just taking this. Well, I see it. I guess I did it. Huh? Go away. Hold on, let me get you down real fast. Alright. So what we're doing, we're just gonna take all the bolts off, take this shield off, and let all this differential fluid go into your catch pan because you don't want that to go on the ground. So I'm gonna come back when that's off. Alright, so now just open this somehow. Pry it open. And out comes our fluid. Usually use some gloves, I recommend it. Take that out. Looks real good. Nothing bad. Ooh. Okay. Interesting. Alright. I can't really show you guys. Yeah, that's right. So, that pin right there, the big pin that I'm shining my light on, if I can put this down. I can't, I only have one hand. This pin right here, kind of hot, I don't care. This big pin right here needs to come out. There's a bolt on the side somewhere. Up here. Can't really see it, but where my finger's at, there's a bolt on the back side of this. You have to spin this, which means we're gonna have to jack up the other side to be able to spin this. We have to jack up that tire over there. My hands are covered. To get that out, you have to pull this out, and there's gonna be like a little U, like it looks like a U on the axle over here, the one you're trying to disconnect. You pull that out, make sure it's not down here in this oil down here, but get it all out. Everything's good, no metal shavings. Anyways, you're gonna pull that U out, and then that's gonna slide out. I'll show you that when we get there. Right now we gotta spin this, which means we gotta jack that up, so we'll do that real fast. So we just put it in neutral. You gotta push up. Wait, it's hard. You're gonna spin this, but you're gonna watch for these spider gears right here. I know, guys, there's not much light. Watch for these spider gears. You don't want them to drop out. And where's? Oh, I'm gonna spin this all the way around. That's nice. I don't have good lighting at all. Light is right where my arm's at. I'm gonna put my phone down real quick. This is your little safety pin, is what we call it. I don't know what it's really called, but this is what you take out. It is 1/4 inch, I believe. I need 1/4 inch, Dad. Oh. What? Hey! I need 1/4 inch.
Was it 1/4 inch?
Yeah, it's just like a little 1/4 inch screw. I just need a 1/4 inch. Socket. Or not socket, wrench.
Working on it.
Take the screw out. It'll come out. It's like a little tiny screw. Safety screw, whatever they want to call it.
It's an 8mm.
And then you pull it. I think it's a 7. The 8 was too big when we did the houses.
5/16.
It might be a 5/16. Hand me that 5/16 where you have it. Just drop it. It's 5/16. Okay.
Is that good enough?
Yeah. I'm trying to remember which one I need to go down. Okay.
Counterclockwise.
Yeah. It's gonna be hard with a phone in my weak hand. Holy cow.
Going the right way? I think you're going the wrong way.
This is my weak hand either way, so it's gonna suck. I'll put this down.
Let me see. Yeah, you gotta go down.
Down?
Yeah.
There we go. Alright. That's what the screw looks like. I'm gonna give it to him for him to clean it up. And then this master pin, literally you put your finger behind the back like that. Probably shouldn't be
Show the order that it goes in and out.
And it has a little pin here. Oh shoot, I'm blocking the light. See that hole? Lines up with this hole right here, where that screw went in. You have to put this in, or else you can really mess up your differential, because this will come slinging out. This locks everything in. I'm gonna give that to him. We need to spin this a little bit more. I think maybe I can reach behind. I can't really show you guys right now, so I'm gonna spin it a little bit more to show you what it looks like. So I can't really see where I'm looking. This catch pan's in the way, huh? Alright, so these spider gears here, when that master pin comes out, these quite literally will rotate just wherever they want to go. So when you spin this to get it wherever you need it to be, watch out, because if these come out, you can get them back in, but I mean, you don't want them to fall out. It's a pain. Can you push that axle towards me?
That's it.
That's it. Don't spin it.
Let me see if I can lift it up.
It needs to come towards me a lot more, because I can't.
It's not letting me. I need to hammer it.
Yeah, because it's right now. It's in the spider gear.
Maybe the bearing's holding it up.
Don't spin it. Hey, it's moving. Come on, keep doing that.
Don't spin it, and it's moving.
Almost. Keep going. It's just bouncing. You gotta hit. Not that hard. Oh, so close. Alright, just push it now. It should. Alright, yeah, I'm getting it. Hold up. So this little pin right here. We didn't have to do this last time because for some reason it wasn't in, right?
Right, it fell out.
It was actually, last time we had it, it was just sitting down here, which was really not normal, not good. Alright, it's out. Let me come out there and I'll show you. So when you get that out, it just pulls right out. Let me come out. How'd you get this out?
I actually had to pry on it because this bearing wallowed into the axle that much. It's a lot. And that's why we had our troubles. Hopefully you got the right axle so we can go right back in later.
Down here. It looks real good down there. No issues there. Let's spin the bearing real fast. Bearing spins fine. Don't show no sign of wear, so it might have just been the brakes.
Brakes? No.
Anyways.
Do I have a fancy tool to pull the bearing or the...
Yeah,
no.
Real fancy. It's called a hammer.
We're not going to reuse this stuff, so... Let's see if I can... I may have to get a screwdriver and chisel that seal out.
You may just do like this.
It's awful big screwdriver.
Oh, it does the job.
You say, just don't damage the area that it's sitting in now. I don't think you can do anything with that.
Not sure what I'm really supposed to do here. What they have is normally they have a tool that slides in that you can pull it out.
Yeah, I don't have that tool. Need to get into the harder part. Take the pry bar in there.
Alright, you got it working.
Big pry bar.
Where's the big pry bar at? What's that?
You're supposed to do it this way. Once you come from actually pushing it in.
Oh, I'm pushing it in. It's bending out, see?
Okay.
Oh, well. I don't think the bearings were working. You know? I mean, they're still nice, but they're in pieces. You just pop them out. This wasn't a very cheaply made bearing.
Well, it was only $10. Let's see if the surface is good. We don't want to scratch this area here.
So, use this. Bearing pieces still in there.
Get all them bearing chunks out.
You see where the seal and the bearing sit. So the bearing's supposed to sit here, seal sits here.
There's no light when you did that. It's actually two different surfaces.
Yeah. Plenty of oil still in there coming this way. Trying to get as much as I can. Oh, that's bearing pieces.
Where is this? Yeah, I think so. Yep, the other side of it's got to come out.
It was like this, right?
Yeah, another side of it.
And then this little piece is cracked.
See if it pries out. Don't scratch the surface. You gotta shine light in there so we can see anything.
I'm trying to get to this first.
If you give me the light, I'll help hold the light.
No, I don't think this comes out. I think this is broken.
Hmm?
This right here? What's this? I don't know what this is.
It's part of the bearing plate.
Well, how am I supposed to get it out? Chisel it?
Whatever it takes. Don't want to scratch the surface first.
There we go.
You should probably, there you go.
Almost like a sleeve in a piston. Fits perfectly. Clean all that up. Look in there to see if there's. Looks really good. Shows age, but nothing bad. Alright.
We're running out of daylight.
I think the hard part's done.
Putting it together is not easy.
I can't really do both of those. My job, really. Your job, hard. Alright. The bearing, Dad. Where's the bearing?
It's in the box. But we gotta put the axles together to see if they're the right ones.
Yeah, that's true. They look the same.
Let's drop this down. Actually, this needs to go up.
Need a knife? Pull that out. Pull that. Yeah, just pull it out. This one's got a bigger groove. That's better. Looks the same.
Not the same.
Don't think so?
No. You stop pushing on that. See how much longer it is?
As far as we can go.
That's as far as we can go. Gotta go back and get the right one.
Guess we can take this in?
Yeah, we can take it out.
I'll clean it up and see if there's a part number on it. Alright, we'll get back when we're got the right part.
Well, here we are again after a couple days. Went to AutoZone to find out that there are approximately, for this year of truck 150, probably 12 different versions. There are different sizes here. There are different bolt patterns. There are different bolt thicknesses, bearing size, different spline, which is these little ribs. If you notice, these two are this one's longer here, and they are telling me with a mechanic that was there that it's actually only using this much, and there's really wasn't any need for taking it that far. It just allows other situations more universal. But this one actually came, this is a 2003, but the tag number, which, did we show them the tag number?
I believe so.
That tag number, V828B, did not match anything in 2003, 2004, or 2002. It did match 2000, period, 2000 axle. Again, this guy who restored vehicles, he happened to be there and he was a blast to talk to. He was saying that quite often they would use whatever stock they had, and they would put that tag on there so you can identify. So those tags, you might want to, even if you put a custom cover on it, you want to maintain those tags somewhere so you know what your axles are. It wouldn't be as hard. But again, if you go through from 2003 to 2000, who knows how many different axles. Now, why so many? Some of them, of your axles, are on your driver's side. In this case, this is a passenger side. They call that the right side. Your driver's side is different. It's usually longer, and it has different areas in it that are different sizes. So, quite a bit to learn there. So it's really important to keep up with your tag number, or else you're just going to have to keep trying to match it up, and we end up doing that anyway, so I'm not sure how good that really is. So now we got to get the lug bolts to the same kind of pattern as we have here, which helped identify if this was the right one, because these were 14 millimeter and this accommodated a 14 millimeter, whereas the other one we had that looked very similar, it looked exceptionally similar to this one that we have now, except it did not accommodate for 14, it accommodated for larger ones. So I would have had one rim with a larger lug nut, not what I wanted, or at least larger bolts. So I wouldn't want a different lug nut if I ever had to replace it. So now we're going to try to see if we can figure out how to
You were thinking just as much as I was. I was thinking about doing the same thing.
Got grease on it. They give you a package with all these in it.
Oh, yeah.
The one that we ordered originally, it was not the right one, didn't come with the bearing and the seal. So you'll have to determine whenever you order whether or not you need to order an additional seal. So now let's see here. It don't look right.
Well, slide this into that.
Yeah,
you're good at there.
that one there, that one there, this one here, and this one here.
Now you need the bolt.
I got some here.
Oh, you do?
I don't think it's the same one. So.
I mean, those will work. They're just bolts. Saves you a hassle.
Probably do a separate video on that. And bottom's out there, so we may have to put something here. I've had to do that before, like a larger nut to slide over it off.
Get out. Do these do any better?
Might. I don't know. And there's mowing his whole field over there. Yeah, that'd be better.
Okay.
Alright, so what we've done is run the lug nut up on here. If you notice, this has got some ribs there that will be smashed in there and stay usually as soon as we pull this down. I actually have a, you can do this with a regular ratchet and hammer that in a little bit and then get it started and pull it all the way down. Then you back that bolt off. But in this case we have an impact. We're going to see how far we can get with it.
Which way look for?
Is that on the high?
Yeah.
Or just slower?
That's slow.
But it's stronger?
No. This one's different than a drill.
Weaker.
That's gonna be a trip.
Have to have a big air impact to run it down otherwise. Which I have. We just don't need to do all that. It's gonna spin.
Spin it until it comes down here. No, that's not gonna help either.
I just fell out all the.
Oh, the bolt pattern fell.
What we decided to do was go ahead and put these on, and then we'll let the axle, when it's in the gears, keep it from turning, as opposed to trying to clamp it down, which you might not be able to do. So the next thing we're going to do after we've done this is we're going to put the bearing in, and then the seal. Then we'll slide this through.
And don't forget,
We're going to pack it with grease when we do it here. Recommended that you put in axle grease. Lovely stuff to get on your hands and everywhere else, because you don't want your bearing to burn up before it gets the oil to it. Possible it could, and this will keep it from doing that for quite a while. Kind of push it in there. Make sure you get it all over your hands, because that's part of the ritual.
also might help to get it to go in. You think or no?
What's that?
Getting help if you put it around it, it'll slide in better.
You can try it.
I don't know.
It makes it hard to hold. Yeah. Okay, you won't be able to, it's really not a good idea unless you're a mechanic already, but this is a 1 in, what do we say this was?
1 in 13.
1 in 13, oh 13, 1 in 13 sixteenths socket, so that it will push all the way around when we get ready to push this in. I used a 2-inch adapter, PVC adapter, and just moved it around and tapped it all the way in. It's a little bit on the small side, but you can do that. That only costs like $1. Or find something that you can tap it. You won't want to use a screwdriver on these edges and fix this where these things won't move. right? And when you get it in there, you want to check it. So now, the hard part's getting this thing to go in.
Oh.
I guess we need a hammer.
Pretty tiring, huh?
Really tight.
Hammer until it won't hammer no more.
Still spinning. Now let's get the seal in.
This is a more fragile piece. The bottom's not in.
It's in all the way. A little bit of a lip there. Okay, so now we slide the axle in.
As you slide, I'm gonna go underneath. Give me 1 second. I gotta remember to grab your what is this called?
U-clip.
Yeah, something like that. All right, waiting on you. It should just slide in.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, there you are. Now you just need to hammer over.
What?
You need to hammer it on over. That's good right there. Flip this little thing over so we don't fall out. There's that. Yeah, you can pull it towards you. Alright, so you can't see. There you go. So that's like that. That's locked in. It is in park. So
This in park?
yeah, I put it in park when it came back out the other day.
You can spin it around. Put it back in neutral? Or is it in the right place?
No, I'd have to spin it around, I think. I'm not sure. Let me check. Well, I'm gonna go down there with that. This.
That bolt and the 5/16 nut.
Yeah. Okay. Need a 5/16 driver of some sort, your master pin, and your bolt. Let me light the shit up. Right there is where your master pin goes. This is your master pin. Clean it off real fast. Hold up. So the hole slides in last. So you're gonna kind of go, because you're lining up with, the nut, the safety nut goes here. Locks this all in. Although you might have to put it, yeah, you have to put it in neutral real fast.
Okay.
So you just line it up just a little bit. You get these spider gears lined up. So you're spinning this thing around. So what we had to deal with is this little U-clip. This one here. U-clip on both sides. This little U-clip slid out, I guess, overnight, over the 2 nights that we hadn't touched this. And it was blocking this master pin from sliding in. So push that all the way in. Careful, it will slide out. Just kind of line it up where you can. Right there. Grab your bolt. Goes in on this side. Alright, got it lined up. Now we're just going to tighten it with our 5/16, which probably best just hand screw it. Bear with me, let me swap hands. That's pretty much as tight as I can get it. I'm shaking around, I know. But it's not quite the most comforting. Basically, you're going to tighten this bolt down, and then we'll go back to him.
So now we've cleaned the pan up and got all the junk off of it, and it's got a little bit left on it. What we're going to use now is just a regular silicone type stuff. Now you can go get the automotive. This is something that we had right here ready to go, and we've already used it once and it worked just fine. Silicone type. It's actually called Weather Max, and it will squeeze out all the excess. It really is not going to use very much of that. Probably be some mechanics going, oh my god, but it works. I don't have to drive miles into town,
And it's cheap.
yeah. Something we had.
And you don't have to hassle with putting a gasket on.
No, it worked just
They
fine.
fall out a lot when you go put them in.
All right.
In fact, they make a special type of silicone stuff like this we just put on to hold it in.
This tube here is like $7, $8, and probably pay that much for a little tiny tube. So anyway, we're going to put that in. It's going to squeeze out. We'll wipe it off, and we'll put all these bolts back in.
And then we'll move on to showing you how to fill the pumpkin.
And so much more yet to go.
What you'll need to fill the pumpkin, eh?
Right. Get all this.
A few of them of the bolts here already put on, but right now we're just hand tightening them. You can see the silicone we put on is just covering the hole. Just line it up, twist it in.
Put them all in loose and then tighten them down.
You're gonna want to put your tags back on to identify what you had. So
We got one more bolt to go.
yep. This bolt. Then you're gonna want to tighten these down with your ratchet, obviously. But
Don't got to be super tight, but tight.
you just don't want to leak your diff fluid out. So you get that on 5/6. No, this isn't 5/16 socket. This is a 1/2 inch socket. Put that on, and then you're good to go.
Tighten it down.
We'll come back when we get that done. It's hard to see, but on the front side of your diff, at least on this truck, there on the right, on the driver's side, there's this little square on the front. This is where you fill in your fluids and everything. So let me get that. So on the driver's side, the front of the diff, not the back. What this little thing looks like. Make sure you use the right fluid, and if your diff, if you do or don't know if it's a limited slip vehicle, like your transmission's limited slip or not, put some additive in it anyways. It doesn't hurt.
We'll put that in first.
Put 1 quart of fluid in, then the additive, then the next quart of fluid.
Alright, I got, here's the, you can show them what we got.
Did you open it already?
Yeah. Took the stuff out of, gotta take the little wrapper inside of it out.
There's no wrapper in it.
On the inside there is.
No, there isn't.
Show the brand and all that.
It's 75W90, which is what is for this model.
Yeah.
But a little bit hard to get in, but once you get it in, you just kind of let it go. Wish these bottles were clear, because then you could see how much I had left. Anyways, you're going to do that for a little bit, so we'll come back whenever we're doing the next thing.
So now all of these have little seals inside of them here and here. You have to take it out. You take this off, take that out. Now what I've done is I cut this off already and then put this back in so it won't spill out. Did that with the limited slip, which she's fixing to show you.
Limited slip. This is pretty much just universal limited slip. There isn't like a specific. Kind of hard to find. At least AutoZone didn't have any of it. But you're just gonna take your cap off. Already removed the little cap. Just put all of it in there. Kind of hard to tell with this one when it's empty. I actually poked a hole in the back of it to get it room, but I think it's already out.
Dribbling some out.
Yeah, it's not exactly.
It's not a lot out.
I'm not exactly in it. I'm trying to look to see if I'm empty yet or not. Okay, I think I'm empty now. Alright. Next quart. It's approximately 2 quarts because you don't want to fill it up all the way. Anyways, same thing here. Just more 75W90 going in. Can't really see it there. We put 2 quarts in, and now we're moving on to the next thing. Remember, put your little plug back in. Don't need to tighten it all the way down, just change fluids.
Alright, so we use a 1/2 inch ratchet with a socket, and this is a galvanized pipe. And I stuck it on the handle. It gave me enough strength at the very end of it, try not to rub this, to tighten it down until it's solid against. You can literally break these lug nuts if you are strong enough, but it'll let you know. It'll be tighter when it gets close to being, you know, where it needs to be. It'll be considerably tighter. So you want to have it in park and the other wheel on the ground. And now we got to loosen up the lug nuts, put the brakes on, then put the tire on.
Something right, but there's only 2 bolts.
All right. If you notice, the top of the brake shoes have a particular look, whereas this is where the adjuster goes down here. You see that? This is your top, and it kind of fits in there. This part here hits up here. This part here hits right here. So this part here hits right there. But now you want to hold it in with these little clips. And these little pins here, which I've been left hanging, they'll go through that slot, and then you've got to push it through on the, see that head on there? Push it through here and then push up. You have to push down at the same time and up. So it's kind of a tricky thing. But it holds it in place for you.
Let me hold it for you.
Let's see here. You make sure they can see what I'm doing. Just like that.
That's it? Just hangs in there?
Yeah, it goes in there and hangs. That allows you to adjust it where you want it.
Like that. Interesting.
Then on this side, the same thing. You got this little clip.
Can you give me that flashlight? Like that.
This goes over the top of all that. Now we're gonna get this little clip. Gotta push it down just a little bit. And slide it just like that, and it holds it in place. And then those two sit like so.
Your center springs.
The adjuster goes on the bottom, and this goes toward, in this case, toward the right side, but you want to line these teeth up with being ornery, just like that. And then you can reach in there and adjust it with your adjusting tool
On the back side.
on the back side. Then your big screen, your big spring goes on the top, and then your little spring goes on the bottom. We'll get a pair of needle nose and put that in.
I think I do break.
Put on that.
Easier to put on than pull off?
Way easier. Sometimes. There's that. Then we got to put this rotor on.
Oh, look, we did it right.
Then this.
Well, we don't want to put that on, right? We got new shoes for it.
I don't think we're going to do that right now.
Looks like it's pretty melted there.
Yeah, we'll do that another time. Okay, you got to get it in the slot right there. And you got to, back here, you got to adjust these places where the bolts go through. They move right here.
Get that 10mm.
Bolts in. Get them both lined up before you tighten them down and started. So he moved the rotor a little bit. Helped.
Not moving up and down.
A little faster with this kind of a ratchet wrench. There you go. And Clay can jack it up, put the rim on, and you guys know all about how to do that. Hopefully that helps you out a little bit. But there's how we did it. It's Phil Bridges. If you like what you saw, you think it might be helpful to somebody else, push that like button and let other people know what you and I now know. And we'll work together toward making a brighter future. And by the way, we're not Americans, we're Americans. See you next time.